Welcome to Second Listen Saturday on the Parenting Roundabout podcast, where we share some fun moments from a past episode for your weekend listening pleasure. Look for new episodes every Monday through Friday.
We talk about our kids a lot on this podcast, but we have some other dependents that we don't always talk about, although sometimes you hear them in the background.
Yes,
like right now.
They are often unscripted guests.
That's right.
Our dogs. We each have one dog or two. And, we've been feeling more and more lately that we parent them too. So they're a proper subject to talk about on a parenting podcast, I think. I mean, I think many of us feel like our dogs are our children, and we come up with dilemmas that are not that dissimilar to the sorts of advice we might give parents about children. Like lately I've been feeling like I am a bad parenting expert by doing something that I would always tell people never to do with the children, which is that mom says one thing and dad says another. You have to be unified, right? Isn't that what we tell people? Mm-hmm. You have to make agreement. Yeah. You have to be a unified front. So let's just say that one of us in this house lets the dog on the couch and the other one does not let the dog on the couch. And I know how my husband feels about it. I know he gets angry when he sees the dog on the couch. I know he has strong feelings, and yet she looks so comfortable when she's sitting there. And it is comfortable. It's a very comfortable couch, and much more comfortable than the floor or her bed. And I don't really mind. Dogs are always on the furniture when I was a kid. And so I don't tell her to get down. And sometimes I sit next to her and pet her, which is really sending the wrong message. So I'm bad. If I was doing that with a kid, I would have all sorts of admonishments. But with the dog, it's like, well, she knows. I like to think that she knows that it's okay to be there when everybody else is home. But when the man comes home, she should get her little fuzzy tail off. And most of the time she seems to know that. Occasionally, maybe she fell asleep, or maybe she's just like, you know what? I'm an old dog and this is comfortable. Deal with it, old man. But then there is
a price to pay.
Yelling. Then the dog is in trouble and I feel guilty for not saying, you know what? I really actually let her do that. But so I feel like a parenting failure when it comes to the pet. How about you guys? Do you find yourselves doing things with the dog, parenting-wise, that you would not do with your kids? Or the same things that you do with your kids?
Well,
Catherine, how's your dog doing?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think like as with parenting, I feel invested in their behavior, like it reflects on me, which, it probably should, I mean, like the dogs are naughty in many ways. And yeah, it's our fault because we didn't train them enough to not do those things. In our defense, it's really hard to train two dogs at the same time. And if we try to separate them, like say we take one out in the backyard and try to work with it on training, then both dogs are freaking out because they're separated from each other and cannot concentrate. And also the biggest issue we have with the dogs, the biggest behavior problem is that when we walk them and they encounter another dog, there's a whole freak out situation that happens.
Yes,
but
ours too.
It's hard to train that out of them without another dog. You know what I mean? Like you need a Confederate. That's a canine Confederate trainer. Like we have actually, we had a trainer and she brought her dog and, it was a whole thing. And so anyway, these are all excuses, but I'm just saying it's hard.
We've mastered the art of if you see another dog coming, if we see the dog coming before our dog sees the dog coming, we make a quick turnaround and go a different way.
I'm going this way now.
Okay. Head down an alley briefly while we watch for the other dog to pass. It's so bad because she freaks out. Much leash pulling when she sees another dog.
Yeah.
When we're out. Dogs and motorcycles and trucks and really anything that makes a loud noise. And it's an adventure. I won't walk her on the leash anymore. I have to have the harness on her because she can physically move me like into the street if she sees something she wants to chase.
Yes.
But then when you put the harness on, you feel so bad because it's like she can't go and sniff and pee on everything and, do all her walking stuff. She has to stay by my side. So,
well, mine outgrew the harness because she got too fat. One of them outgrew the harness.
Aww.
Yeah.
So that also makes it difficult to walk her.
Yeah, it's hard. And I don't like to fight with her. I don't like, especially if there's people around, I want people to think I have control of my dog.
Yes.
Although people seem to think that we should have control about where the dog decides to pee. And I have not yet figured out. I guess that's a training thing.
That's
Can
hard.
you train them, can you train them to wait till we're at a part of our walk where nobody's watching before we pee on stuff?
Right.
I would be happy just with that alone. It's just, no, there's people here. No. Don't be on the side wall of the high school while there's people watching.
You can only do
saw
it
us the
when
other day
there's...
and made some comments.
Oh, I hate
It's
that.
like, by the time I know she's going to pee, she's already kind of doing it. She raises her leg, too. She's a weird girl dog. She raises her leg and marks
I had a
stuff.
boy dog that squatted, so,
Apparently there's
He's
diversity in the
pansexual.
dog community.
He was pansexual.
So how is your dog, Nicole? What sort of parenting stories do you have to tell about your pooch?
Oh, she's a
Who's eating a
nightmare.
bone in the background as we
She's
speak.
a nightmare. Well, we stick to this particular breed, and I don't know why, because they're just, they're so difficult.
What breed is it?
The Hungarian Vizsla.
Oh.
And they're pointers that originated in Hungary, and they were hunting dogs. And then they were bred so that they hunted in the daytime, but then kept their owners warm at night. So she has this natural tendency to be like Velcro to us. They actually call them the Velcro dog. Like literally, she is like at my side 24/7. Like even, on the bed, right? We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
But we can't, it's just a nightmare if we try and put her elsewhere.
Velcro dog sounds like the kind of thing that sounds good until you actually have to live with it.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my gosh, get away from me.
I know. She's constant. Like if I'm sitting on the couch, she's not happy to sit on the floor beside me. She has to sit on me, on me, like half on me. And she honestly, my husband will get up in the morning and do his routine. She won't get up until I get up. And then I have to, do all the feeding and the letting her outside. And like, even though my husband's been up and is willing to do it, she's like attached to me. She's like imprinted. Yeah. And she's so poorly behaved around other people. That's like the bane of my existence is when I have other people over. She's so badly behaved and I don't know what to do about it. I mean, half the time I put her on a leash. Because if I lock her up, she barks.
Yeah.
And I can't put her outside because we have this big sliding glass window and she can see right in at us. So she's like, let me in.
Give you the guilt.
I know you're in there.
Yeah. Plus it's like 105 degrees outside. I don't want
you
her
really
out there.
can't.
Aw.
So anyway, and a lot of our guests, for whatever reason, they just are not comfortable around dogs. So they get all stressed and nervous when she's around. It's just so challenging to have people over. And admittedly, we do have people coming and going, especially with my daughter's friends. And, there's just a variety of people in and out of the house. And, she's terrible. She just, honestly, I mean, we had Joshua's graduation party a couple of years ago, and we had 40 people over here. We actually put her in the kennel for the night. Like I could not handle having her in the
Less
house.
stressful for all concerned.
Yeah, so but then the flip side is when it's just us, she's so loving and just wants to please all the time.
Aww.
And so, yeah, I'm probably not the best at parenting her, neither is my husband.
And she won't even eat lizards for you.
No,
She won't. She could earn her keep.
I know. There are very few redeeming qualities about her.
You're going to have to go apologize to her pretty hard after this podcast.
I know. She just walked away. She just got up and walked away from me. Which is very rare.
Mommy didn't mean it.
No, actually, she went to the garbage to pull out some garbage, so she wants to make trouble.
Our dog, her like destructive habit is to take tissues out of a trash can and just like lay them on the carpet. And my husband gets so upset. And I'm like, you have no idea that is the best destructive behavior she could possibly have. You just pick the tissue up and throw it back away.
She doesn't even shred it up. She just takes it out. She doesn't even shred it. It's just like, she's like, I am showing my dissatisfaction with this tissue on your carpet. Oh. Very delicately removes it from the
I know.
So it doesn't rip.
I think it's the cutest thing. My husband does not. I should say that the dog was, every dog we've had was sort of obtained against his will. So he has never wanted a dog, but the three of us have wanted a dog, and we've sort of overruled him. Like, oh, you'll love it, honey. It'll be good. And he doesn't. So he never had a pet growing up. So he's not so interested. But he's the one who walks her most and takes care of her in other ways. So we are the terrible people who inflict a pet on an uninterested family member and then make that person do all the work. So,
yeah.
And that's where he's patient.
I'm the main parent in this family too. So my husband spoils her more than I do. I mean, he's just as bad. He's terrible. He feeds her people food, which I totally hate. She's up on our couches. Oh, she's just... Yeah.
The funny thing is that I think of all of us, the dog we have now, at any rate, loves him the best. Mm-hmm. She will just stand there and look at him adoringly. Even if he's, finding her a nuisance, she's like, that's my man.
Even though he doesn't let me sit on the couch, I forgive him. It's worth it.
Yeah.
It's worth it. And then of course she looks at me like the competition, I think. So I get the stink eye a lot.
Yeah, sure.
And she always sits in my seat in the couch, so that might be sort of a territorial thing.
Yeah, she's trying to take over.
Yes. I will sit on your part of the couch and drool on it. So, at least I hope it's drool. It's a little wet. I'm going with the drool. Yeah. But then, of course, Catherine, you and I both have the issue of dogs
capturing,
having a violent streak, I guess. I am mortified and upset by the fact that my dog would really, the highlight of her day would be to go out and kill her a groundhog and carry it around the yard with a big smile on her face. I've never seen her so happy as when she killed that groundhog. She looked like it was just best day ever. And I'm like, a poor living creature. She killed a little baby bunny once, and I was, she's like, hey, I'm a carnivore. I'm a hunting dog. It's in my blood.
Yeah.
Calm down. And I'm like, it's a bunny. Oh my gosh, what did you do?
The worst one was that my dog got was a little bird. It was like a songbird. It was just it wasn't like an endangered species. It was just like a little sparrow or whatever. But it was flying too close to the ground, and I watched it happen. I couldn't stop it. I was like, but just fly higher. You'll be fine. The dog's only 1 foot tall. And no, it was too late for that little bird.
Oh, that is upsetting.
She just chomped it.
We were taking a walk and we saw like a bird. It looked like maybe it had left the nest too soon, and it was just sitting on the sidewalk trying to figure out what it was supposed to do now, because I don't think it could fly. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, move the dog to the other side of the street. I don't want her to see it. Right. I don't want her to see it. She'll eat it. And she would have.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is nice. They delivered.
Wow. But my dog won't. She'll make friends with him.
Even though she's a hunting dog?
Oh, haven't you seen that picture I posted? There was I think it was on Instagram, there was a bird that hit our sliding glass door, so it was a bit stunned.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And it fell to the ground, and it was just kind of standing there for the longest time. It wouldn't move.
Uh-huh.
And I had to let Missy out to the bathroom, so I tried to kind of guide her away from the bird.
Right.
And thinking that, oh my God, she's going to attack it, because this poor vulnerable bird is there. And then something caught my attention, and then I lost track of her, the dog. And the next thing I know, she's over, beak to nose with this little bird. And she's just sniffing it.
Was she providing first aid and giving it flying directions?
This poor bird must have been absolutely terrified, but too stunned to move. And she's sniffing away. And and she's also done that with my son's hamster. When my son had a pet hamster.
Oh my gosh.
The hamster was running loose in my son's room, and Missy was the one that found it. The hamster was like in the corner. Like we couldn't figure out. She kept standing in this corner whining. She was like just standing there whining, and we're like, what's going on? Went over, and this poor little hamster's in the corner shaking in fear, and Missy's just looking at it. And so I guess she fails as a hunting dog.
Yes. My son kept asking for a hamster. I was like, oh my God, that thing would last 2 minutes, because that's what my dogs go after is little rodents. I mean, they would be like
squirrel.
Yeah. And it's so funny because my one, the one who got the bird, we had this huge oak tree in our backyard, and it's right next to another tree. And she will sit at the bottom of the tree, stock still, looking up into the tree for like 30 minutes. And this is a dog who cannot sit still. I mean, like we joke because we'll sit down on the couch or something and she'll sit down next to us and we'll just say like, okay, start the timer, because she just is fidgety. She gets up and walks around. But if she's like watching squirrels, man, she will sit there and sit there and sit there.
Focus.
She is a great deal of patience for that.
Well, it sounds like we have just as much to say about parenting dogs as we do parenting kids.
Exactly.
And unfortunately, the dogs can't hear what we say about them on the podcast, so there's less of a repercussion. We should just talk dogs.
That's right. From here on out, it's a dog podcast, and we've all established that we're terrible at training and taking care of dogs, so we should have no problem.
We're terrible dog parents.
We should have no problem
Feel free
developing
to judge.
an audience for that.
Yes.
Oh boy.
Y'all can feel superior out there.
Exactly.
We acknowledge. How many dogs have you guys had since you've had families? We're like on our third shelter dog.
Yeah, these are number 2 and 3 that we have right now.
Yeah, this is number 3.
Yeah.
So
Extensive dog experience, and we still don't know what we're doing.
I don't know about extensive. I never had one.
I'm blaming the breed. I'm not blaming me.
I never had one when I was a kid. We never had.
I did.
I did. Yeah.
Yeah. I had one dog who was so smart she learned how to climb over the fence, and we could never figure out how she got out. But she was a little too smart because she then got hit by a car.
Aww.
So then we got another dog who was not nearly as smart, but she stayed alive a lot longer.
She was smart enough to stay alive.
She was smart enough to stay in the dang yard and not run across the street.
Right.
But so I've always had dogs, and I wanted my kids to have dogs, and I wanted to have a dog. You have a house, you have a yard, you want to have a dog. I had a cat when I was in apartments, but for a house I wanted a dog. So I overruled the master of the house 3 times. It'll be fine, honey. But this dog we have now is by far the most rambunctious and difficult to control. She's a sweetie, and once she gets over that excitement, she's fine. Right. But, she can definitely do some damage to small animals and to me if she pulls really hard on the leash when I'm not prepared.
Oh, my last dog did knock over my mom one time, which my mom who has, no experience with dogs either, and she had the dog on the leash, and I said, and the dog was starting to pull her, and so my mom started going faster, and I said, no, don't do that, don't do that. She'll run, she'll pull you down, and yep, that's what happened. She was okay.
When I was a kid, in between our 2 dogs, we had gotten a dog that was bigger than we were used to, and we left her out at night, and when my dad went out in the morning, he was like looking for the dog, and all of a sudden these 2 paws went up on his shoulders. And he turned around, and this dog had just been rolling around all night and was covered with burrs. It had like that kind of poodle hair. It was this huge dog, and he said, no, this one's not for us. I don't know if we had the dog on spec or what, but we were able to trade it in on a more manageable model.
Ours have been interesting, to say the least.
Have you gotten, so yours is a breed, Nicole, is it? Did you get it from an official breed type thing? Because ours have just been mixes and mutts.
Well, the first dog we bought was a yellow lab. So we bought him from a breeder not a very reputable one. He was super aggressive
Yikes.
for a lab. He was like highly aggressive. And then the last two, the Vizslas, one was bought sight unseen. we actually had him flown from the other side of the country.
Wow.
Yeah, when he was a puppy, because my husband got him from a breeder in Ottawa, in Canada. And I didn't know we were getting this dog. My husband just came home with it one day. And anyway, it's a good thing I like dogs.
A puppy, no less. That's a lot of work.
And then this last dog we have, we call her pre-owned. She's used material. She was with a breeder for several years, and she was a show dog and had litters and whatnot. And the breeder decided that she didn't want her anymore, and basically gave her to us for like $100. So yeah, we got her, and she's been the best one yet. So,
but that's why she's a little insecure.
Way. She is. Love me, don't leave me. don't send me back. We actually threatened her.
Oh.
We're going to send you back. We're going to take you back to the desert.
Oh, wow. So you better be nice to all those lizards, because you may be living with them. See, you're sending the wrong message
right.
there.
Well, maybe that's why she doesn't go after the lizards. It's because she's used to them.
That's true.
So yeah, she's been quite the dog. That's for sure. So she was the blue light special. We got her on discount. She was on clearance. So anyway, yeah. So that's our dog story.